Alright, what's going on, everyone? Today I just wanted to talk about Explorer. I didn't really mean to, but we kind of became an Explorer channel for like a month there. We've been playing a lot of Explorer on the channel. If you don't like my gameplay videos, they're usually my least popular videos I upload. Well, apologies. I've just been having fun with the format, but now that we've been playing it for like a month or so now, I just wanted to talk about it. Wanted to talk about my thoughts. Wanted to update you guys on how I'm feeling about the format overall. And it's pretty good. It's basically exactly what I wanted, which is a format that feels safe to spend wild cards in because I know that the cards are pretty much always going to be relevant. I should have checked before recording this. I'll put it on screen or something, but I've got to have at least 10, maybe 15 plus decks. Maybe not 15, but probably close to 10 or more Explorer decks. I keep crafting them. I mean, we've played a lot on the channel. I have others that I haven't played. And first off, the great thing about those decks for me is they don't actually take that many wild cards because I'm just using old cards that I already had. You know, all my old standard cards that rotated are relevant again. So most of my decks I've spent maybe 3 or 4 rare and mythic wild cards on, maybe. So I might have 10 decks, but I doubt I've spent more than 20 or 30 rare wild cards on all of them. I've spent the equivalent of 1 deck's worth of wild cards on like 10 plus decks, which is nice. It's very nice. And also knowing that all the wild cards that I've spent are always going to be relevant. You know, I crafted Thought Seizes. Those Thought Seizes are basically forever going to be good. They're good in every format. Black decks with Thought Seize exist in Modern and Legacy. They're everywhere, right? So those are always going to be good. So yeah, it feels good. That's how it should feel. It's nice knowing that, you know, I can craft cards and I'll be able to play them forever, which is not true for Standard and didn't always feel true with Historic because of how quickly it sort of rotated with, you know, all the additions of Jumpstart and anthologies and whatnot. So yep, it's great. It feels pretty good. My only negative feeling about the format, I would say, is not really relevant to the format, but related to just best of one in general, which is the prevalence of combo decks. I mean, that's just the nature of best of one. Combo decks get shut down in best of 3 because you have sideboard answers to them, but in best of 1, it just allows combo decks to go rampant. So we had Winota, and right now, I don't know if it'll get banned by the time this video goes up. Probably not. I haven't heard too many people complaining about it, but the Grease Fang combo is kind of obnoxious. It just wins on like turn 3 or 4 most games, it seems like. And of course, that deck, not an issue at all in best of 3 because you just bring in Graveyard Hate, and it's much harder for that deck to win when you can just exile their graveyard every turn. But in best of 1, it's just like, well, there's that Grease Fang combo gonna die on turn 3 or 4 again. And that's not the fault of Explorer, that's just an issue with best of 1. That's why I'm fine with a separate ban list for best of 1. Like when they banned Tybalt's Trickery in best of 1, it's like, yeah, that's reasonable. Deck's crazy in best of 1, and also just doesn't work in best of 3, so it's reasonable. But beyond that, format's been great. Lots of decks have felt viable. One of the best parts of eternal formats like this is that even if the top deck is the same, like best tier 1 deck for like months straight, it feels different because there's usually a lot of different builds of the deck. In Explorer, the perfect example of that is Mono Red Aggro. Mono Red Aggro has been one of the best decks in the format for a month straight, but there's so many different builds that it doesn't feel like you're playing against the exact same deck every single time. Like you'll play a deck that's more burn focused with the Soulscar Mage and Runaway Steam Cannon and whatnot, and then the next game you'll play against the more stompy version like I play with like Annex and Embercleave, right? So that's good because it doesn't get stale as fast. Even though you're playing against Mono Red again, it's a different Mono Red deck a lot of times, so that's good. That's why, even though I've played Modern for so long and the same top decks that have been in Modern have been the same top decks for like 5 years, years and years and years, Modern Horizons shakes it up quite a bit, but Death Shadow and Tron and stuff have been at the top for so long, but they also like evolve a lot, and there's so many different builds. I mean, like Death Shadow, there's Grixis and there's Jund and there's Esper, and they all kind of rise and fall depending on how the metagame shapes up, and they all incorporate different cards at different times, and I don't know, they just feel different even though they're the same, right? And that's what's great about non-rotating formats is you can fall into archetypes that you enjoy, but they're also constantly evolving. But it's not devastating if you can't keep up, right? Like if you play Modern and you play a Grixis Death Shadow deck from 2 years ago, chances are like it's still fine, even if you're not playing the most current deck list. And that'll be true for Explorer as well. And Pioneer, of course, is, sure, maybe you build, I don't know, a mono red aggro deck that's like the card for card tier 1 deck right now. And if it evolves and changes over the course of the next year, your deck will still be fine. I mean, there's already like 5 or 6 different builds of mono red aggro, so you'll just have one of the builds of mono red aggro. And if you have extra wild cards, then you can spend them to change up your deck a bit, make it feel a little different. Or if you just want to play that one deck because you don't have the wild cards, then that's fine too. And that's what makes Modern and Pioneer and Legacy so good, is your decks are just always good. They're always relevant, even if you're not, on the cutting edge of the format, they're still fine, right? And that's how Explorer has felt so far. Of course, we've only been playing it for a month, so we'll see how it evolves. And also, we still have these Pioneer anthologies that are going to come out. Apparently, they're going to try to add the key cards, the key Pioneer metagame cards. For example, we will most likely get like Monastery Swiftspear that's played in so many red decks in Pioneer, and that will probably change mono red decks. I would imagine with Monastery Swiftspear, people are going to go more burn focused, so I expect changes and stuff like that. But for the most part, like, I don't know, it just felt good. It's felt good. I've felt like I've had more fun playing Arena over the past month than I have in many months. Been kind of disenfranchised with the client over the past like year. Still been playing a little bit, but it's just been kind of frustrating. But I've been really rejuvenated and really excited for Magic Arena and playing Magic Arena since Explorer released. And you can see on the channel, look at everything I've uploaded over the past month. It's been like several Explorer videos and like 2 non-Explorer videos. Haven't touched Standard. I have not touched Standard since New Capenna released. I have no clue what's in Standard right now. I don't know what people are playing. I think that Rafine Esper deck is cool or something, but I don't know. I have not queued a Standard game. I have not played a New Capenna card in Standard since Capenna released. Haven't played it because I've just been playing Explorer and I've been loving it. And, I believe Alchemy is coming. Who's excited for Alchemy? Who's excited? Alchemy should be coming out. Who's excited for New Capenna Alchemy? I'm not. I don't know if anyone is. I haven't even seen that stuff. I've seen like 1 or 2 cards. Like, no one's talking about it, right? Like, who cares? Who cares? No one cares. I don't care. Maybe someone cares. Someone cares. You watching this, you might care, and that's fine. Hey, you can play it. It's cool. It's good that there's a format for everyone, but I'm just not interested. Not interested. I'll probably play Standard again eventually. Eventually, with non-rotating formats, you can get to a point where it's just like, you get tired of playing the same decks. That's when Standard's great, right? Standard sucks when you have to play it, when you feel like that's the only format you can play, because it tends to be very narrow. There's not enough room to really brew your own decks without just being slaughtered by the tier 1 decks. And that's just an issue with Standard. Like, that's always been an issue with Standard, and that's fine if you're playing it in small doses. Like if you play Modern and then you just jump into Standard for a few months and you have some fun with Standard, then you just get the heck out and you go back to Modern. That's how I've always played Standard for, like, I've played Magic for 20 years, but that's how I've been playing Standard since I created a Magic Online account in 2014 or so. So, the past 8 years or so, that's how I've played Magic, is predominantly Modern, but then dipping into Standard from time to time because, it's fun and small doses. And the fact that Magic Arena now has for me, a base format of Explorer that's where I'm always going to be. I'm going to be playing Explorer always. But then, if I get tired of playing those same decks, I can jump into Standard and it's all new cards and it's fun for a few months and then I get the heck out for several months after that. That's awesome. So yeah, I just think it's good. It's good for the client. I've been liking it. I think one of the biggest issues is if you don't have a well-stocked collection, then building Explorer decks can be intimidating because it's like, I don't know, it's harder to acquire cards when you're constantly being given standard cards, right? Every standard rotation, you're getting standard cards, not Explorer cards, so it's going to get more and more difficult to get into as time goes by, and that could be an issue, so that's something we'll have to look at. But for now, as someone who's played Arena since it released, as someone who has like a pretty extensive collection, I'm not a whale. I started spending $50 per set around Zendikar Rising. I've gone back and bought some sets. You may have seen my opening videos. I did Kaladesh and Amonkhet, so I spent about $50 per set. You know, I have bought in. I'm not free to play, but I'm also not a whale spending, you know, $400 or $500 per set. But as someone who is invested but not super whale-ish, it's felt really good. I guess I'm most concerned about how free-to-play players are going to get into it, but the good news is you can play standard, you get standard cards constantly, and if you play Magic Arena for a year or two, you'll probably build up enough of a collection from all the free packs you get and stuff, and from quick drafting with your free-to-play gold, that maybe you can build up enough collection to get into an Explorer, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is, but if you can get into Explorer, it is very nice. So that's just all I wanted to say. I just wanted to talk about how I think the format is good. It's met my expectations. It's everything that I expected the format to be before it was released, and that's fantastic. So Explorer good, try it out, recommend it, especially if you have old rotated standard decks that you haven't played in a while. Go test them in Explorer. Format's fun. Go check it out. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.